All right, folks, welcome back to another business lesson with Christian Griffith here at Pride Roofing and Construction. This is episode number 27. We're going to take another spin on last week's conversation, talk about Chick-Fil-A for a little bit longer because I love me some Chick-Fil-A, right? But Chick-Fil-A should be, if you are an entrepreneur, a business person, or just somebody who wants to understand overwhelming success, Chick-fil-A should be one of those people that you investigate, that you research, that you learn from, and then model after. One of the things that they do, the thing that they do best, like I said in last week's video, they make their product better continually. They are the master of the thing that they do, and that's what separates them from their competition. But the thing that I believe that they do best is they stay firmly grounded in their principles. So Chick-fil-A, everybody knows this. You can talk about Jesus Chicken or whatever it is that you want to call it, but they are a fundamentally Christian organization. As a fundamentally Christian organization, one of the things that they take very seriously is honoring the Sabbath. They honor the Sabbath by resting on Sunday, right? Now, I mentioned in the first video that Chick-fil-A shuts down 52 times a year. There's 52 weeks in a year. They shut down every Sunday all year long to honor the Sabbath. And when you look at this in comparison to their competitors, those guys work every day of the year. Right? So they shut down 52 times more than McDonald's or Burger King or so on and so forth, yet they generate 3 times the revenue on average in every one of their units across the country. Now, what they've done by honoring their principles and staying firmly grounded in their principles and taking Sunday off is they actually have created a sense of urgency for their clientele on Saturday, right? You guys might have already done this. I know I've done this. I've been driving around with the kids doing stuff on the weekend, and the kids wanted to go to Chick-fil-A or they want to go to whatever. Sundays they miss out, but Saturdays they're like, we should do it today because tomorrow it's closed and I'd like to take advantage of that, right? Everybody does that. Maybe it's subconscious, but they create a sense of urgency to get your Chick-fil-A on Saturday knowing that Sunday is going to be closed. If you look at that, and if you listen into their chief operational officers and other people trying to dive into this concept, technically they make over $100 million every day that they're operating, right? They're a massive organization, and they shut down every Sunday, which means 52 times $100 million. That's a lot of revenue that they're missing out on. That's billions of dollars, billions with a B, right? You would think so, but if you read into it, because of that sense of urgency, because they stayed grounded in that principle, so on Saturday, right, the consumer, us, all of us who eat at Chick-fil-A, we have this sense of urgency, and we also have this thing called the fear of missing out on Sunday, right? So we all flood into Chick-fil-A. The lines are longer, and what they're doing on Sunday is they're creating 3 times the standard of the average revenue on Saturdays than they are on any other day of the week. So you play this out, it's like they're making the revenue of an 8-day week while everybody else is making the revenue of a 7-day week, right? They stuck to their principles, they drove people through their doors, and they're making more money. So how can this be applied to your business? There's probably lots of different ways. I'll tell you one way that this methodology of staying firmly grounded in your principles has elevated my business, right? One of the things, we talked about principles, we've talked about some of the things that we do differently than our competitors, but we talk about transparency and honesty and being above the board in everything that we do. When we're working with insurance, when we're working with clients, when we're working with anybody, right? We keep it above the board and we stay firmly grounded to our ethical guidelines, right? That has helped us a lot when we create partnerships with insurance agents. I mentioned in way back videos that insurance agents cannot tell their clients who they're going to work with, but they can very much persuade them to work with ones that have a history of great workmanship or great principles or whatever it is. That's a position that we now have got ourselves elected into. When I work with an insurance agent's referral, their client, when I go out there, if I look at their roof or their property and I know that it's just not bad enough, that it's not going to meet the insurance company's guidelines for replacement, then I tell their client exactly that. I'm not going to force them to do something just because I want to do work for them, when really it could just be done with a simple fixes, easy, affordable repairs. These agents, when they know that they can send us out there to do a preliminary exam with their clients on their property, and we can position them to either take advantage of the claim and do it without any kind of hiccups or upsets or hurdles to get over, and we give them an honest approach. Sometimes we lose business. Sometimes we give them an honest assessment and we don't get to do any work for them whatsoever because it's just not that bad. A lot of our competitors who don't have that principle grounding will just say, call the claimant and I'll fight for you, right? But that's unethical. That's not staying grounded in your principles. I lose some business by giving that honest assessment, but I gain more business with those insurance agents and those insurance agents' networks of other agents because they know that they can depend on what my assessment is of this damage, right? This is just a simple, application of this idea, but it's very powerful. When I started in this business, we had to knock on doors constantly as our only way of generating revenue. And they didn't know who we were. They didn't know anything about us. We didn't have any history. It was a really difficult sale. Now, our phones ring constantly from the agents that we've partnered with, and they're giving us oodles and oodles and heaps of work because they know that we're going to be the ones that give them the honest and fair assessment for their clients. And we have their client and them as agents' best interest in mind. So you can apply this in a lot of areas of the business. This is just one that has worked for us, but staying firmly grounded in your principles. Occasionally what that means is you're not going to gain business at that point in time, but this is the long game. If you're an entrepreneur, if you want to build a business, if you want to just do your job well, stick to the basics, stay transparent, stay honest, stick to your principles, and everything eventually will compound on itself, and you'll make more money than you ever thought possible. You'll become more successful, and you'll have a great tenure in whatever the profession is that you chose. So again, this is Christian, Pride Roofing and Construction business topics or business lessons. Please like and subscribe, engage in the content. We've had a lot of cool people reach out to me personally, say cool things about our content, about the things that we're bringing to them. I'm excited about it. Let's engage. Let's talk some more. Let's keep this thing going. Catch you on the flip side.